Hey, how are you? So, today I want to talk about a list, a list of things you are supposed to think about if you're trying to get in shape, okay? Uh, so, what is the most important thing? What is the second most important? And so on. So, I believe some people think it's steroids, right? I don't, I think this is not true. Some people would say, look, it is supplements, okay? I don't think that's true. And some people would say that it is training, okay? We are getting closer now, but I don't think it's training either. Next, some people would say it is nutrition, right? I believe nutrition is more important than training. Now, next will be in my list sleep, and I'll explain why later. And the most important thing in my list is dealing with stress. Okay, so in my list, most important is dealing with stress, second sleep, third nutrition, fourth training, fifth supplements, and steroids last. I wouldn't even touch them. Don't touch them. If they're illegal, don't use them. If they're legal, don't use them. Whatever the case, just don't use them, okay? Okay, I'll explain why later. Okay, so some people would say, training is more important than, like, right? When ask them what I need to get in shape, they say, go to the gym, right? But what can you, how many calories can you burn in the gym? Let's say 1,000 calories, okay? I can eat 4 donuts in 5 minutes, right? 4 donuts. That would make 1,000 calories. So I spent maybe 3 hours in the gym, burn 1,000 calories, right? Most people can't do anywhere near this. Then I go home, eat for 5 minutes donuts, and I have just canceled everything I did in the gym, okay? Now, if your nutrition is on point, then yeah, training is the second most important, right? But for most people, I'd say fix your nutrition first, okay? And why do I think that sleep is more important than nutrition? If you don't sleep enough, what happens? What do you think happens, right? You're sleep deprived, right? Now, maybe you don't know this, but uh, if you're sleep deprived, there is a certain hormone in your body that stimulates hunger, and it basically tells eat more. When you sleep deprived, the levels of this hormone in your body increase, okay? And there is another hormone that signals fullness, but when you're sleep deprived, its levels decrease, okay? So basically, the less you sleep, the hungrier you are, okay? So if you're watching this right now and you're feeling sleepy, go to sleep, Okay? If you're not sleeping enough, you definitely binge. You eat potato chips, popcorn, and you already know that you don't you already know that you must not eat it. But if you don't sleep enough, it's very hard to control yourself. Maybe usually you eat one bag of potato chips a day if you sleep properly. If you sleep less, maybe you eat two bags. Now, some people don't eat junk food at all, but if you sleep much less than usually, trust me, you will eat junk food. Okay? So you have to go to sleep. Now, I think most people already know this, that sleep deprivation is not a good thing. But if you're stressed about the next day, okay, about tomorrow, right? What do? You stay awake. Watch YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Watch movies, right? That's because you're stressed. That's why I always say, deal with the stress first, okay? If you deal with the stress, yeah, I know I have to go to sleep, so you just go to sleep. That's what you do. And you're not sleep deprived, so you eat way less than usually. And what happens then? You get slimmer and slimmer by the day. You lose weight. You lose body fat. Another important thing is that the less you sleep, okay, let's see. Let me try to explain this. When you lose weight, some part of this weight is muscle and some part of it is fat. But the less you sleep, the bigger the fat part is. The bigger the muscle part is. So if you sleep more, the bigger the fat part is. So let's say you're on a diet, okay, and you're not sleeping. What do you think happens? You lose muscle more than fat. That's what happens. And in the end, you're worse, not better. You think you're doing a diet and you'll be in a better shape? No, you'll be in worse shape. Okay? And, okay. Now, about the training, right? Why did I put it above nutrition? Why is it less important than nutrition? As I said, you can eat 1,000 calories within 5 minutes. You need 3 hours to burn them in the gym, if you're lucky. Okay? But of course, training is important, right? Some kind of exercise. If you don't exercise, you won't be able to build muscle. And less important than training are supplements, okay? Like creatine, okay? Protein powder. I don't know if it can be called a supplement. You can take all the creatine you want. If you don't train, it's pointless, right? That's why training is more important. And finally, steroids. As I said, just don't touch them at all. You get a lot of side effects. You may die from a heart attack in your 30s. If you're a woman, you turn into a man. And you may still get a heart attack. Also, when you stop using steroids, what do you think happens? You produce way less testosterone than you produced before taking steroids, okay? So now you have to be on a testosterone replacement therapy for the rest of your life, which is very expensive, you know. So just don't do it. Okay? That's all for today. I hope this was helpful. As I said, deal with your stress first, and the rest is easy. Okay, people? Thanks for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye.